Much of Mexico is fearing another wave of violence after 73 people died in Mexico's attempt to capture the notorious leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel known as El Mencho. The cartel, that's who the leader was, the cartel responded with widespread violence, compelling the U.S. State Department to advise Americans visiting Mexico to shelter in place. All the roads were blocked, many vehicles were set on fire. Definitely a scary situation. Phil Carter, our national security expert with Sierra Consulting, joins us now. Phil, I can't imagine how disconcerting it would be to be an American and have the U.S. Embassy say, shelter in place, advise your family and friends of where you are. Don't try to get back yet. Don't get to the airport. Give us some background. What's going on here and how dangerous is this for Americans?
Right, so Jalisco is a state, right, just like South Carolina or Texas. And what happens is in 2009, 2010, a cartel collapsed. So you get the Zetas, you get these guys, and the Sinaloan cartel fighting it out. So these guys went out, right? They brand themselves as a vigilante group, but really they consolidate control. They're the worst cartel in Mexico.
Wow.
And they control the state.
Okay, that's saying a lot. So there are a lot of fears people are saying now of another wave of violence that may happen. Much of Mexico is under travel advisories, everything that range from reconsider your travel to do not travel. What do people do right now who have plans to go to Mexico in March or April?
Florida's nice.
I know you have said on this broadcast before, you are not a fan of travel to Mexico if you're American.
I am not, and I tell you, I explained it to my kids when they were little. Think of the United States and think of the United States not controlling Texas, right? There are just certain areas that they don't control, and even the areas that they do control. You can see from today, airports shut down, highways shut down, Costco's burning. It is a mess, and it's all retaliation, right? So the leader was killed. It's all retaliation and a show of force. The CJNG trying to show the government that they're still in control.
Okay, the World Cup is coming in June. Right. They're coming to 3 big areas in June. The cartel wins, Phil, if people don't go. The cartel wins if people don't go on vacation. That's a tough thing to weigh, isn't it?
It is, and from an American point of view, you're correct.
Security, from an American security point of view.
You know, like the Boston Marathon bombing, right? So we're going to go, we're going to show them that they're not going to win. Mexico's a different story, right? These guys, they don't have free reign, but almost free reign. And, you know, I would be very cautious going down there. I think they're playing some matches in the United States. I would stick to the United States.
So people are listening now and they're kind of saying, okay, what do we do? I don't have travel insurance. I've already paid for this trip. I'm a little bit scared. There we see some video of people at the airports trying to get, those were the people who could get to airports. Right. Airports were open, but the problem yesterday was that some of the roads were blocked by these cartels. This is serious business though, right? This is serious business.
Absolutely, right? So, you know, your chances of going down there, something happening to you, minimal, right? But you're still much better off in the United States, right? Florida's nice, they've got nice beaches. Keep in mind, Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara are in Jalisco.
Okay, that state.
They're in that state, right? These guys control it, and they're ports, so they ship dope out of there all the time, right? We talked about Cabo, right? It's in Baja Peninsula, but it's a port, and it's really a big hub to ship drugs to the West Coast.
Another one of the states, there are 22 states in Mexico that right now the U.S. State Department has advisories in.
Right, if you look, and we've said this before on this same show, if you look at the advisories, almost all of Mexico, it's a very dangerous place. If you decide to go, stay in the resort.
Okay, we hear you, Phil. Stay in the resort, or as Phil Carter suggested, Florida's lovely this time of year.
Florida's lovely.
Thank you so much. It's always great to have you with us.